I'm Nicci, and today I'm here with Jessica at the SFCOA Holiday Bazaar at the Stow Community Center. We're going to check out what the vendors have, so let's go.
Okay.
So what are you selling here?
I sell one-of-a-kind jewelry, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, keychains, wind chimes, picture frames, and girls' hair accessories, headbands, bows, barrettes. Got all bases covered.
So do you make these all yourself?
Yes, I do.
How long have you been making them and selling them?
Oh, 5 years maybe. I lose track of time.
And what inspired you to start making them?
I love crafting.
So how long does the average piece of jewelry or headband or something take to make?
Between an hour and maybe 2 hours, depending if I like it when it comes out or I take it apart again or whatever, you know. I get my new haircut, see?
I love your new haircut.
It's easy.
So do you buy all the separate parts and then just bring them home and then put them on a table and then just with pliers?
The designs are mine. The beads, I don't make the beads, but the designs are mine. That's okay. I put it all together the way I think it's pretty. So
They are pretty.
They're beautiful. Maybe I'll have to come back and buy some.
I know, right?
see, like this. These are wood chips, okay? And these are beads. Well, instead of putting all the wood chips together, it'd be very heavy, so I decided to put beads in between them. So there's 5 wood chips in each section, and there's beads. So it's not as heavy looking as if it was all wood chips. Earrings. And the set goes for like $25, which isn't a bad price considering it's all homemade and it's one-of-a-kind jewelry, so you never find a duplicate, you know? You can say you have a one-of-a-kind Sunshine Shop jewelry. Anything else?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
When's your birthday so we can send you a card?
It was actually a couple weeks ago. It was October 10th.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
What did you turn, 37?
Yeah, about that.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
This is such an unrelated topic.
I'm a school bus driver, and one of the kids on my bus said, "What? I thought you were 27." I said, "I love you."
So, what do you make here?
I make a little bit of everything, actually. I have wrap bracelets. These are all one piece. Gives the illusion of wearing layers of bracelets. Super easy on and off, super cute. Very lightweight, comfortable to wear. They don't snag your clothing, which is another bonus. I make lava and chakra bead bracelets. You put a few drops of the essential oils onto the lava beads right here. Helps to calm and reduce stress. So that's what those are. I have diffuser necklaces, which you open up the diffuser. There's a lava bead inside. You'd put some oil on that, and you could wear that around your neck. You can actually make your own. You pick a chain, you pick a diffuser, you pick a lava bead, and we put it together for you. So that's kind of a fun new little thing. And we have a little bit of earrings.
So, do you make these all yourself?
I do, yes.
How long have you been doing this?
Probably about 4 years now.
What inspired you to start making jewelry?
Because I only work part-time, so I wanted to do a little something extra to earn some extra money. And this kind of works for me because I can pick and choose the fairs and the weekends and stuff that I want to do. So I'm not committed to something every single weekend. So yeah, it's been fun.
So how did you learn that the lava beads could hold essential oils like that?
Probably I've seen them in the Etsy shops online and yoga studios. That's kind of
Figured it out from everyday life things.
Well, I've seen them, and then I kind of put my own spin on it. I'll pick my own beads and put it together, the way I think it looks nice.
So, how long does it take to make the bracelets or the?
Well, I've been making them so long, I can whip up a bracelet, one of these, in probably 10 minutes. maybe the same for the lava beads. Yeah, well, at first it wasn't that easy. I mean, it was a little frustrating. I would get, because these are all one piece, so I would get all tangled up in it. But the more you do it, it's just like I could do it with my eyes closed, probably. So yeah, yep. They're easy, they're quick. I watch TV at night. I multitask, so yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
So, what do you do? What are you selling here?
What I'm selling are some refurbished things or redone things. These are all wonderful, fantastic, redone cigar boxes with surprises inside. And these came out of dumpsters. They are Italian glass from a restaurant, and the restaurant cannot use these again because they can't go into the dishwasher. So they throw them out. So I have a deal with them, and they allow me to take them, and then I do things with them. And this can be used as a vase, or you can turn it upside down, and you can use it as a candelier. And different glasses, same thing. Vase, candelabra.
So how do you make those?
Glass and epoxy. They're easy. It's the cigar boxes that take a little while.
How long have you been making these?
Those about 2 or 3 months. And the cigar boxes I picked up in Annapolis, Maryland, outside of a cigar lounge. And I just started fooling around with them. So those maybe, I don't know, this is the first time I've ever shown them. So maybe 6 months?
Any questions?
What gave you the idea to like make the glasses? Because most people will just see like glasses in a trash can and go, "Oh, I can make a candelabra out of them." And I'm like, "I can make a vase out of this." Like, so easy.
I sculpt. I sculpt and I see things like that. Yeah. I don't know. It's just the crazy way I look at things. I can't explain it. I just see it. But I think it's fun.
No, they're very cool. I was just like surprised because like I've never seen two boxes and thought, what if I put these two upside down? I can make like a candelabra in a vase. Like, what's
Oh, it's going to get better. I've got my daughter and my daughter-in-law out looking for clear glass plates, and I'm going to start putting all of these things together and make a nice big sculpture. This is just the building blocks. You're for that?
I want to
Come
see that.
back next year. We'll be here.
Well, I don't know. I don't think that's something for a craft fair, do you?
It should be.
Yeah, you think?
One of a kind sculpture. Here you go.
Yeah. Take it in and out. And over here, these are leftovers from Park Fest. And I just brought them for the heck of it. This is my portfolio. And here are some other sort of cool prints. I use a macro lens and do a lot with flowers. So that's a flower.
Anything else?
Anything else?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Have fun.
Very beautiful.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Let's maybe turn the camera on now.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you selling here?
I am selling punch needle and needle felted pumpkins today for Thanksgiving tables, the needle punching, and some of these are my own designs, and some of them are a pattern, and you are allowed to sell them, so you know. So this is my own pattern right here, and I figured someone could put greens in it, fake greens or real greens. And this is a chickadee, this is an ornament right here. So they make nice gifts, because if I got one of these, like a little shaker box with a nice flower, I would love this one as a gift, personally. But I always gravitate towards craft fairs and people who make their own things, because it's, you know, way of life for some people. I mean, I'm not doing this, I have to make a living, but I know a lot of people do. It's a cottage industry for some people. So craft fairs and what they make, so totally get that. So anyways.
What is punch needle? Like,
Well, punch needle, you get a, what do you call this? I just forgot. Oh, I'm having a moment, senior moment. Yeah, what is it called? It's called a circle. No, I just. Anyways, you get a hoop. It's called a hoop. Oh my gosh. And this is called weaver's cloth. There's different grades of it. So you get a big enough size. I don't like to. Sometimes people will put it on this one, but then they end up folding this, and you got to steam it out and all that. So anyways, you draw the design on here, or you already have a pattern printed on. And then you get a punch needle and a threader and floss. 3 things. So actually it's 1, 2, 5 items you need. And then you go as tight as you can in this drum-like loop. And then you start following the pattern. And on the other side, you start getting this.
So how long does that take?
Well, it depends on my mood, you know. If I'm not in the mood, I might just do
depends
one.
on how productive you're being.
Yeah, you know, if I'm watching, I watch the news on my tablet a lot, I'll have to admit. So when the I sit there and do this because I just listen, or I listen to a book. You know, it just depends. You know, I'll do this. This will probably be done next week. But I'm going to keep this one because I like the boats. So they can take, you know, like this took me an hour. You know, that's a simple design. This, I had one that I did, like this took about, I don't know, 3 weeks. But, you know, it depends on how long you want to do it. You know, it's so portable, and it's not like cooking where you have to finish what you're doing. That's why I like to sew and quilt and needle punch.
You can just like stop it whenever you need to.
Needle felting. Yeah, you just put it aside. I mean, if you have no cats, you can leave it. If you have cats, you're going to put it all away. Because I have found more of my thread around the house. They got into the closet one day. And then this, they can't leave alone if you paid them. So, anyways.
So how long have you been making and selling these?
I've been selling these for like 2 years now. I just decided to sell them last year at a shop in West Acton. And I've been quilting for like, I don't know, 20 years, 25 years. So I love to craft. It started when I had kids, little devils, you know. And I needed something to do creatively. I love to create something. So you can edit all that, right?
Yes, we can.
That's very good.
Thank you. Okay, first question. How many siblings do you have? I want to get to know about you.
I have one brother.
Nice, I have 2.
Yeah, that's not part of the interview. Anyway,
Joking around.
so what are you making here?
I make functional stoneware pottery. Stoneware?
What's stoneware pottery?
So stoneware is a type of clay. It's a high-fired clay. I fire it to about 2,300 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
Okay.
So how long do you make these all yourself?
I do make them all myself.
So how long have you been making them?
I've been making pottery for about 25 years now.
You've been making pottery since you were 5?
I just turned 50 this year.
I don't believe that. Anyway.
That's not us being nice. You really don't look 50. Okay.
So what inspired you to start making pottery and selling it?
I originally started making pottery at Old Sturbridge Village. So I was a potter there for 22 years, and then 3 years ago I started doing it on my own.
So how long does it take you to like make one of these?
Well, to throw a pot on the wheel, it only takes about 2 to 5 minutes, but then you have to glaze it and do all that, and so it's hard to say exactly how long it takes, but not very long.
So what's the difference between like stoneware and like any other type of pottery?
So stoneware is higher fired. There's basically 3 kinds. There's redware, which is what bricks are made out of, that orange firing clay, so that's low fired, it's very porous. Stoneware is in the middle, it's high fired, it vitrifies. The aluminum and silica in the clay forms glass, so it seals itself. And then there's porcelain clay, which is really, really high fired, like 2,600 degrees Fahrenheit.
So can you like hand wash?
Yes. This is all dishwasher safe, microwavable.
You're gonna take a sponge holder for your soup?
I'm gonna take a sponge holder. We're gonna do it.
Anything else?
No, I'm just like, I don't know.
Is there anything else you want?
No, I'm all set. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
No, he wants people to know he's awesome. It takes him 5 minutes to make this stuff.
So, what are you selling here?
I make doll clothes for American Girl dolls. And now, of course, they have the boy doll. So I get to make clothes for little boys as well.
So, how long have you been making these?
10 years.
Have American Girl dolls been around that long?
Oh, sweetie, they're older than you are.
I didn't remember ever hearing about them until I was like 7. So.
Right, but they've been around for probably 30 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I know, that's ancient, right?
How long does it take you to make one of these?
Depends, but it might take an hour or two.
Do you hand sew them or do you use a sewing machine?
I use a sewing machine. But there's a lot of handwork involved.
So what kind of inspired you to start making?
My great niece got an American Girl doll for Christmas. And I had made her a nightgown. And she got her doll. And she said, Auntie Judy, Anne really needs a nightgown. And I said, well, I'll make one tomorrow. And she said, can you start today?
Wow.
Yes. That's a business was born.
Man, I was like, all my American Girl doll clothes I just bought. I wish I had an aunt who would make them.
I tried to make American Girl doll clothes once. It didn't work.
Yeah. Well, you probably didn't know how to sew.
I was like 10 when I tried.
Yeah.
I tried to like duct tape fabric together. I was like, I got this.
Well, I used to make my own clothes before I started working. And so it was just a natural transition.
Hi, so we have our own honey from our hives, and we also have lip balm that we make, and custom pens, seam rippers, bottle stoppers.
So how long have you been making and selling these things?
This is year 4 for the bees. We got a couple hives a few years ago, and we started doing the pens in the last winter.
So, what are those? Like the blocks?
So this is what the pen starts as. This is spalted maple, and then once you put it on the lathe and turn it, it looks like this.
So you're not selling those; you're just showing them off.
Yep. So these are if you want to make a pick your own to do a custom pen. You can pick which one you want, and we can put it on whatever kit you want.
So what's this?
This is a crochet hook. So it's interchangeable, so you can just pop out one hook and pop in another one, and then for travel, it pops back in.
Cool.
So what inspired you to get a beehive?
So my husband and I come from an agricultural background. Both of us grew up, doing farm work and having animals. But when we moved out to a more suburban area, you can't really have cows in the middle of a city. So we got bees.
Did you know that the lifespan of bee is 21 days?
Yes, I did.
Sorry, that's right. I learned that last week.
Never mind. I don't want that.
Anything else?
So, do you just buy the bottles and then put a label on it, or do you have a bottle company that you work with?
No, we buy the bottles and we put the label on it. We bottle our own. We take the honey out of the hive, we filter it, and then we put it in the bottle.
So then how do you make these?
So there's a machine that those go through. You hook the straws up to the machine and it sucks them in and then heat seals it.
Oh, okay. I don't have any more questions.
Thank you.
No problem.
What are you making or selling here?
This is Surfing Goat Soaps, goat milk soap from our farm at Hames and Axel Farm in Ashburnham.
So you make these all yourself?
Yes, I do.
So how long have you been making them?
Well, we started the farm 23 years ago. We started making soap 15 years ago. And we've really been ramping it up to hopefully a full-time job about 3 years ago.
I have a question. So you have kind of this like goat theme going? Like it's called Surfing Goat, and you say no goats were harmed and they give the soap. What's the deal with the goats?
Because I raise goats.
You raise goats?
Yeah, I have about 80 right now.
Wow.
And the soap is actually 1/3 goat's milk.
Oh, so that's why no goat. Okay, that's
why no goats were harmed.
Okay.
And the name Surfing Goat comes from our very first Jolene that was born to us. She learned how to ride on the back of a sheep and drive the sheep to the low spot in the fence so she could hop out. And we would plug that hole and she'd find another one and drive the sheep to a new hole and hop out. So that's how we got the name Surfing Goat.
Okay.
Very smart.
So how long does it take to get or to make the soap?
The process takes me about an hour to make it and then a month to age it.
Wow, that takes patience.
Yeah.
Where do you like age it? Like how is that?
Once it's cut into bars or it's unmolded, I have drying racks that we put it on, and we rotate it every couple weeks, and then we have to wrap it up at about a month and then move it on to another shelf. We really do need to grow out of my kitchen because we have right now a couple thousand bars of soap at home. We've also started doing these Christmas ornaments with soap inside.
Like after Christmas, bring them out. That's your present.
No, this open it up, reuse it. It's plastic, so we want to make sure that it is a reusable thing. And like this is, the old song "Joy to the World." Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Okay, that's why there's a frog in the Joy to the World. That's right. And then we have this one is a bee soap, and it's "Let It Be." So you can reuse them.
So what are these for? Like
Those are they're hot and cold packs. You can put them in the freezer or the microwave. And that one has actually got 6 different compartments, so you can wrap it around.
She loves cats.
Okay, well, we're very animal themed, as you can tell. Our molded soaps are cats, dogs, and we're working on a whole endangered species line.
So what species are part of your endangered?
Do you know what a quokka is?
I do.
Okay, we're gonna make a quokka.
It sounds like a type of duck. I don't know.
It's a very interesting type of animal.
It's a marsupial, and they kind of are called the smiling animal because they have huge, like a koala bear nose on a kangaroo body. So there's quokkas, pangolins, which are scaly anteaters, which are critically endangered. We have a goat named Saula, which is a Vietnamese endangered deer species. So we're going to be making things like that. We're very environmental. We want to raise awareness of how much we need to protect the planet and that these animals are relying on us.
I actually love that. Okay.
Yeah.
We have a 3D printer, so we're working on that.
That made my day. Okay.
Anything else?
I think that's it. Thank
Okay,
you.
well, thanks for stopping with me.
You just probably moved up like 20 bars. I love
These
that.
smell really good.
This bar smells great. It's like crowded. She's got a good crowd running. Okay.
She has the Visco Girl necklaces, and I know.
Have we done these?
I know life.
We will goof off the entire time, I promise.
What's your birthday? No.
We want to send you a birthday card. Birthday card.
Well, no, we're not sending the birthday cards. Everyone, the people watching,
look a day
we're
over
gonna ask
30.
them to send you a birthday card.
That's okay. I don't look a day over 30, right? Are you recording this right now?
Yes.
Great.
We'll edit it out.
So what can I tell you?
So, what are you making or selling here?
So I'm selling photographs and note cards, and for the first time this year, calendars of images taken within the town of Stow, where I live.
So, do you take the photos yourself?
I do.
Do you get them developed? Do you develop them yourself and then print them on cards?
So the cards are actually printed, I order them using the photos, and then the prints I actually order as well. So I don't develop them myself.
Still very pretty
That's
photos. Very pretty photos.
Thank you.
So, are these only in the town of Stow, or are they from some other places?
All the note cards are from the town of Stow, the calendars. Some of the prints are from other places. So I have some images I've taken in Maynard at night, some in Boston at night, just scattered around different places. I love taking pictures. I love being outside. And I love showing off what's beautiful about our town.
So, that answers the question of what inspires you to do this.
Yeah. How long have you been doing this?
Well, I've been taking pictures my whole life. I've only, Stow Photos was created a couple of years ago, so maybe 2 or 3 years. This is my second time here.
I love how you like capture, like it's like the deer's like looking almost directly at the camera, and like the butterflies that float, the sunsets, like all these different types of colors. It's really like capturing like the essence of the area.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I like the box of apples. It really.
Beautiful farms here. We have beautiful open space areas.
We have 4 just in a 50 square mile.
You missed a golf course.
There are no golf photos yet. There are no golf photos yet. Thank you for pointing out that.
That's my
need
request.
for me to
That's
take.
my request.
You want a beautiful golf course picture? Okay. All right. I can do that.
Okay.
I actually do have some pictures I took at Butternut, but I don't have them here today. So I'll work on that.
Anything else?
No,
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here.
Okay.
Do you know I sold more to adults than I did to kids?
No way.
And then now your hand on this side.
Jessica, you have 2 hands. Can't face the camera.
Yo, what's up? Hi guys, welcome to Stow TV. How are you doing? Hi, I'm Albert. How you doing today? I'm with Stow TV here. We're talking to these 2 lovely ladies.
Face the camera.
Hi, what's up? What's
You want to do the? Let's do the whole.
Do you have another one of these?
Yeah.
And the camo?
Any color. We're gonna do the interview with these.
Use it when she's driving, and when she turns around and gets to a car
She
next
likes
door,
pink.
she'll go like that.
I'm gonna spend all my money here.
Okay.
Let's go. I'm obsessed. I love this. Are you kidding me?
Okay. Maybe we should do the actual interview now.
Okay. Let's do this.
So, what are you making and selling here?
Well, basically we sell everything from hats, mittens, sweaters for kids, and puppet scarves like you're wearing. And we call these wig wags. If you've got long hair and you wear it in a ponytail, tie this around it and it'll hang on either side of your thing. And mittens, hats, Christmas trees. You know, everything, a little of everything. So we try to appeal to everybody. Yeah. And this is the first year I've done a Afghan with a matching pillow. And that's for a queen-size bed.
So do you guys make these all yourself?
Yes. All handmade, no machines involved.
Knitting or crochet?
What you're wearing is crocheted. These are knitted.
So this may be a dumb question, but what's the difference between knitting and crocheting?
Well, crocheting you're using 1 needle. Knitting you're using 2 needles. So you have more stitches on a needle that you're knitting. You could have up to 200 stitches. You're working with 1 stitch at a time when you're crocheting.
So how long have you been making and selling these?
Pardon?
How long have you been making these?
I've been doing it since I was about 8 years old. And my friend Nina, you started, what, about 20, 30 years ago?
I started knitting 48 years ago when my nephew was born, and I wanted to make something for him. And then I taught myself how to crochet, and I've been doing that for maybe 20 years.
Wow, that's impressive.
She's too busy fawning over her new scarf.
I love this.
She'll be back for that later.
My hands are getting warm though.
Did you want me to hold that for you? It's funny is I did sell it for an adult lady for her son, and he didn't like it. So she wore it, and when she drove, she had it around the neck like you did, and she drove with the steering wheel, and every time a car went by, she used the mitten.
I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Okay,
I'd take that.
so that girl with the jewelry is the only one we haven't done this room.
So, what do you do in the kitchen here?
Well, I handle any of the food orders that come through. Today, I'm working with the Council on Aging, and we have breakfast items, breakfast sandwiches that we cook to order, kind of like a short order cook would normally do, but I'm also prepping out for lunch. We've got a homemade clam chowder that I've been doing, and then we have the usual fare of hot dogs, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, things like that. As well as a full assortment, as you can see out on the outer tables, of fresh baked pastries and the like.
Got any samples for us? No.
Sure, you're more than welcome to grab something on the way.
I don't know. I like food.
Yeah. Well,
anything he makes, I'll probably find delicious.
We're food fans.
Food fans.
There we go.
So how long have you been working here?
I've been working with I sit on the board of the Stow Friends of Council on Aging, and it's over 10 years. But I grew up in the restaurant business years back.
Did you like help? Like some people, when they say they grew up in the restaurant business, did you like help your family? Like, did they own a restaurant and you like, or did you just kind of?
Actually, I learned the business from the ground up. My first job, I was either 5 or 6 years old, and I used to have to crawl under the stoves and the fryolators and scrape the grease and the food from the day before.
That must have been a bad job.
Well, it was the first one. At 5 or 6, you know, you think it's pretty cool, and I got paid 25 cents an hour.
Ooh, you must have been rich.
For 4 hours, you make $1.
Yeah, there you go. But back then, yeah, and then after that, when I got a little bit bigger, I couldn't fit under the stoves anymore, or the fryolators, so they got the steam cleaning machine, and I was then assistant dishwasher. I got a nickel more an hour.
That's 30 whole cents an hour.
That's amazing.
But then learned the business all the way up through full management.
That's pretty awesome. I love it when like it's like that, because then that's like awesome. I love that.
Yeah. And then it helped me when I went to Holy Cross College, because my on-campus job, I worked with the executive chef.
Wow, that's impressive.
So.
That doesn't usually happen.
Right.
Wow. Celebrity much? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. We're in the presence of 2 famous people. And our cameraman, Chris. You can't see him, though.
Chris, so you
Hi,
know,
Chris.
You know, it's like Chris
Hey, Chris.
Hemsworth, Chris Evans, you know.
Anyone but my brother that's named Chris is famous. So
Chris
like,
Barrett, there you go.
I was about to say who's Chris Barrett, and then I was like, oh wait.
Okay.
So I'm JT. What's your name?
I'm Nicci.
I'm Jessica.
That was
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you too.
And we're NJ.
And that's Chris.
Oh, how long does it take you to make the pastries that you've been making today?
The short order stuff, like the egg and cheese sandwiches, they're just a couple of minutes, but I make them up to order, so it's all done fresh.
It's so messed up.
The hamburgers, the hot dogs, all that stuff, that actually was donated by Shaw's
Oh, wow.
to the Council on Aging today.
Shout out to Shaw's. Thank you very much. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
I don't think we're supposed to
All
do
of it.
so.
No, but they donated, and so I'll use that for the lunchtime. And they actually made the burgers up fresh. They ground them up fresh. They're not frozen. So
That's awesome.
How long does this whole event go to?
today, this goes until I believe it's 3 o'clock.
Are you gonna be here the whole time?
Yes.
Oh, wow. You have a long day.
I started this morning at 4:45.
Jeez.
I can't wake up. I can't wake up in time to give myself 5 minutes before I have to leave my house to catch the bus. Honestly, I don't know how people get up at 5 o'clock.
Well, you learn. You have to, especially in the food business, because there's prep that you have to do.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, what are you guys selling here?
We have placemats, table runners, mug rugs, little table decorations. We have bookmarks, wine bags. We have American Girl doll down the other end. Quite an assortment.
Do you make these all yourself?
These are made by people in the community of Stow. And so they're all handmade. Absolutely.
Did you yourself make any of these, or are you just representing?
No, I made a lot of the doll blankets there. I made some mug rugs. Sarah here made
the placemats.
Placemats. So we all got together as a class, the COA craft group, and we made these, the pumpkins. So everything in the room is handmade.
So how long have you been making and selling these?
Myself, 5 years. I've been a member of the craft group. We spend 3 months of the year just crafting for the fair, and then some of us do extra at home.
So you said all this is like handmade. Is this, and everything in the room is handmade?
Everything in the room is handmade.
Is this all from the COA craft
It's
group?
all some of it's from the craft group, and a lot of it is just people in town that want to contribute. They love to knit, they love to sew, they love to crochet, and so they just make things at home and donate them.
And also our quilting group also donated. We made stuff and we donated it too. So and I run the quilting group. Yeah, and made the bags, the Stow bags, with the t-shirts that were donated, and in a sweatshirt and a t-shirt. So if anybody has any, we'll love them to make the bags.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
But these are so pretty. Sorry.
Yes, a woman made those, just brought them in yesterday.
Here.
That's needle point. I do too.
So what are you selling here?
Oh, a little bit of everything, crafted by local ladies in Stow, the knitters. We have a craft group that meets once a week, and our ladies have made most of the little ornaments and crafts. So we just keep busy, coming up with new ideas.
How long have you been selling these?
Well, even before we moved to this building, we were in the old town hall downstairs. So it's been, 10 or 15 years that the group has been doing this.
Was it just like a bunch of friends who got interested in art and then just were like, let's create a business?
Well, it's not even a business. We're part of the community center here, the senior group, but we just like to make crafts, and we know the fair comes up every year, so we try to make things that would sell as a fundraiser, and the money comes back to the Friends of the Council on Aging. It's all volunteer.
These made out. So what are these made out of? They look like.
That's a salt shaker.
Yeah. Oh wow.
And just glue in little things. The lady who makes these paints the faces herself. So all the crafters have a talent to share. Some of us embroider, and a lot of knitters, and a lot of sewing, and then we just make things up.
Thank you. Okay, so what are you making and selling here?
I am selling necklaces, bracelets, and earrings made out of recycled paper. All of the beads are paper.
Do you make the beads yourself?
I make all the beads myself. I cut them, measure them, cut them, roll them, and then put a couple of coats of hardener on them and a couple of coats of glaze.
How long have you been doing this?
About 3 months. Wow. I'm new at this.
Where did you learn how to do it?
On YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
God bless YouTube.
That's the sentence I can get behind.
Okay.
God bless YouTube.
So what gave you an inspiration to start doing this? Did you just think what if I made beads out of recycled paper? Did a friend give you an idea?
Actually, I started off doing regular beading, and then was on YouTube one day and saw the paper beads, and I just watched and learned and thought, that's what I'm going to do from now on.
Okay. So where do you get your paper from? Do you just...
I use contact craft paper, calendars, wrapping paper, gift bags, whatever I can find. magazines. These here, this one here is wrapping paper.
Wow, thank you.
You're very welcome.
I sell handmade soaps and bath products.
Do you make these all yourself?
I do. I have been making soap since 2009. Turned this into a business in 2012 and have been making soap ever since.
How long does it take to make like the average bar of soap or bath bomb?
So soap has multiple processes. To make the initial batch, it takes about a couple hours. Then it takes 24 hours to harden. The next day I can cut it, and then it goes on a cure rack for 4 to 6 weeks before I can package and sell it. So it's a expanded time to make it, but to make a bar of soap, we'll say it's a couple hours when it's all said and done.
So what kind of inspired you to make soap?
I was writing an article on the history of soap and cleanliness, and there was a class being offered on how to make soap. So I decided to take it just because I was interested in the process. Made the soap, got to use it, really liked it, and decided that I was going to make soap for myself. And the hobby eventually turned into a business.
How do you do like the weird patterns in it? Like some of them have weird swirls, some of them have like...
How do you get the shield look?
Yeah.
They're all different design techniques. Like the shield is embed, so I make the star, then I embed the star in the blue, and then I embed the blue in the red, so that one takes 5 days to make. The swirls are different patterns. Like everything I said, there's lots and lots of different techniques, and I take those different techniques and combine them to create the patterns that you see.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi. Oh, go ahead. Hi, I'm Roberta Bizier. I'm with RB Designs, and I'm selling my fused glass here at the fair today.
How long have you been making or selling fused glass?
I've been selling it for about 5 years. It's my second year at the fair here. It's started as a hobby, and it's grown from there.
So other than a hobby, what inspired you to make do this?
Nature's one of my big inspirations. I like making animals. I like making seasonal things that reflect the colors of the season.
How exactly does fused glass work?
Great question. It starts with a sheet of glass, and you cut it and build layers of the glass and tack it together with Elmer's glue, which will burn off. And then it goes in a special kiln for glass, and the layers melt together. Then if you wish, for some pieces, like a dish, you put it in a second time and it will slump over the mold. Using heat and gravity will make the shape that you want.
So how long does that whole process take?
It can probably take like a half hour or something to make an item, and then the kiln would run overnight once it's full.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So what are you selling at your booth?
Today I have hair accessories from Lila Rose. The Flexi Clip is a special hair clip that's beaded on guitar string. It's music wire, and so the clip molds and gives you a real custom fit. It has beautiful beading, and it's strong and durable and unique, different from other hair clips that you have.
How long have you been making these?
I actually am not the one that makes them. Someone does hand bead everything, and I've been selling them for about 5 years.
How are these made? Like, does someone just like put it in a wire form and then
wire, just like you would see on a guitar or violin, and the beads are strung on that wire, and they're folded into this figure 8 shape, and then it's secured with a charm at the center, while the beading has a special patented pin on it, so it's attached. This would slide under your hair, the wire folds over the top, the pin catches it on the other side, and the tension of the wire is what keeps it in place.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
So what are you selling here?
I'm selling knit and crocheted hats mostly. I have some scarves, but mostly are hats, children's sets.
Do you make these all yourself?
I do. I do all the crocheting. It's relaxing for me. It's like a pastime.
So other than just a pastime, what inspired you to sell hats and stuff?
Actually, I'm selling hats just to pay for my habit. I love to knit and crochet so much. It just basically pays for the yarn. I'm really not making a lot of money on it. I'm just doing it for fun, just my pastime.
How long have you been doing this?
Well, it's funny. I was just talking about that. I used to do this in my 20s, which was many decades ago. And then I stopped doing it for like 35 years and just started doing it again about 10 years ago. So now I have to say, the last 10 years I've been doing most of it. I do this, and then I also do Afghans at home, but I don't sell those. I just gift those.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Good luck with your interviewing.
Thank you.
So what are you selling here?
So I'm Holly Martin Lauer, and I sell ceramics. So I make these myself. I have a wheel and a kiln in Worcester. And
How long have you been making and selling ceramics?
I took my first ceramics class about 12 years ago, and I was a perpetual student for a long time, and now I have a studio space.
So what inspired you to start making ceramics?
Oh boy, I don't know. You know, someone gave me, when I graduated from college, a pitcher, a small pitcher, and I started collecting pitchers, and I just was really fascinated with it, and I've always thought it would be really fun. Like, you see people throwing on the wheel, and I thought it would be really fun. So I took a class, and actually my first class I was terrible at the wheel, and I liked hand building things, not using the wheel, like something like that. And but over time I got better and better, and so I don't know, I got inspired, I guess, in college with those pictures.
So how do you make the different patterns on it? Like, some of these things look like they could be metal, some of them look like they could be made out of wood, and then some of them look like ceramic. How do you get it to make that different look?
So there's a couple of ways. So on this, I will carve it. I'll carve in the lines, and I'll add the dots later to try to give it the metal look. On these, I will what's called water etching. I put on the decoration and I wipe away the clay, and that leaves a pattern. So I'll put kind of like a sticker on, and I'll wipe it away while it's still wet, and the sticker doesn't let me remove the clay, so I end up with this raised tree pattern. So that's called water etching. So there's a lot of different ways I go about it. This, I'll add the dots later. Trying to think, so this is another water etched. I put the whale on and then wipe it off, and then the glaze catches it. So, and some things are carved. Yeah. So.
On average, how long does it take you to make one of these?
Oh boy. Well, it kind of depends on what the piece is, so I'll start, say I make the cup, and then I have to water etch it, and then it has to be fired, and for the first time, and then I get that back, and then I glaze it and fire it again. So usually it takes me a couple weeks to make a piece. I mean, the actual time I'm spending on each piece is different, but it takes about a couple weeks from beginning to end. Yeah. Some a little longer, some a little less. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What are you making or selling here?
We're Social Catalyst Charitable Foundation. Our mission, we're a nonprofit located in Stow, across from Shaw's, and we're here to help support the lives of people with disabilities and also to support environmental change. So what we have here is we make bags out of recycled videotape. We work with 2 weavers from the Weavers Guild of Boston, and we set up looms at 2 other nonprofits, and then people with disabilities hand weave videotape into the cotton yarn that we set up, and then we pay them for their work. Once they weave 17 yards of fabric, and once it's done, we take the fabric and make things out of it, like totes, knitting bags. We have these little pencil cases and wristlets and stuff like that.
So how long have you been selling these?
We started in 2011. It took us quite a while to get everything going, because it's not a traditional business that you would do, to have people weaving. So, but yeah, we've been doing it for a while.
So you recycle VHS videotapes. Is there anything else you use to make your bags?
Well, these bags are made of cotton yarn. The yarn is also recycled. It comes from furniture manufacturing in North Carolina, from the leftovers from furniture manufacturing. We have tried to use other recycled materials. We worked with plastic twine from hay bales. We were trying to do that, but it didn't. It was harder to recycle because it was small pieces and stuff. And we do have some other new products. We set up a sewing operation. Sorry. And so these are actually made from fabric samples for lazy boys. So our people are learning how to sew.
So you said it took you a while to like start it up, and you finally started in 2011. How long have you been like thinking of this beforehand?
We actually had another idea. We were our nonprofit was focused on helping people with disabilities. Our first idea was to do a social skills software. So we were working on that before in 2010 and did some market research and decided not to go forward with it. So yeah, I would say we founded in 2011, but we were training on weaving in 2010. We learned at a place called the Fiber Loft in Harvard, Mass. So.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Would you like to get interviewed for Stow TV? Would you like to get interviewed for Stow TV? Well, I go to Neshoba. She goes to Minuteman.
My brother teaches at Neshoba.
Oh, who's your brother?
Mr. Sapp.
Oh my God.
I love him. He's so good. I go to Minuteman.
Seriously,
Yes.
I love him.
I haven't in 60s. I've had
I
them
teach
last
history
year.
also.
I already like her more.
No favoritism, Jessica.
Yes. That's awesome. Okay.
Okay.
So, what are you making here?
I have hand-painted wine glasses and plates, some ornaments, and candle holders.
Are they like? Are you painting the glass, or is it like?
Painting the glass, and then they're baked. But on the plates, everything is baked on, painted on the back of the plate. So you can use the front of the plate, so there's no risk of paint getting on the food.
How would you like wash them though?
Hand wash.
It's like acrylic paint; it won't come off.
No, because so for example, everything is back here, but you would hand wash everything, so you're not going to soak it in water or anything.
So do you usually use like templates, or is it like just hand painted?
Some of it templates, some of it just by hand, especially when you have to do writing and everything has to be backwards.
How long have you been making these?
It's been about 6 years. I started it when my son went off to college and my daughter went off to grad school, and I was home alone. So, when they abandoned me.
How long does it take to make like a plate or?
Sometimes I'm getting faster, so sometimes it'll take about 30 minutes to outline it, let everything dry, and then painting it would probably be another 30 minutes, but that's over a couple of days, so each plate would probably take about an hour.
I see that you got some like, it almost looks like mixtures of paint in the back with like coasters.
Marbling. And so you're using a marbling medium so the paint can just mix together, not kind of come with one big mushy mess.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's so cool. I met Mr. Sim's sister. That's awesome. I feel like I'm at a celebrity. Okay.
You have him?
No, but I know him. Like
everybody knows.
Everyone knows him. So here's the thing, my brother. I got into honors history because I wanted him to be my teacher, and then he went to it down to accelerated, and I was like,
Wait, he's teaching accelerated?
he's teaching accelerated now.
Drop out of honors history.
No,
I hate
like
my history class.
I like my history.
Every year
class.
he goes to.
But he had both my brothers, so I was like, it's gonna happen.
What to expect, right?
Yeah, I knew what to expect, so I was like, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna be in his class, and then he moved down to accelerated, and I was like,
just move down to accelerated then.
I can't. They won't let me because I have an A in my history class.
I work at Hudson High School, so I went to my mom's one day, and he showed up at my mom's, and I looked at him. I said, "That's what you wear to school?" And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, He goes, you should see me in February. I have my Abraham Lincoln socks on with his Crocs. And I'm like, okay.
What do you teach at Hudson?
Well, I'm a building sub. When I was at Hudson Catholic, I also taught history. And my kids hated me because I made them write, take notes and everything. And I actually had one of my students come back to me. She goes, I want to apologize for giving you a hard time. I said, why? Because all the notes you made me take, I was able to do it in college so much easier. You're not recording me still.
No.
Good.
So what are you selling here?
I am selling French macarons. They're a meringue-based cookie. They started in France, but some Italians say they started in Italy. But they're made of meringue, almond flour, and the fillings can have whatever flavor you want. That's one of the fun things about them. That's the creative part. So I have 6 different flavors here, and just hoping people would like to pick some up, either for a gift or to try them or whatever.
Do you make them all yourself?
I do, yes. I make them, so I have 2 places that I make them. One, I work at Orange Door Kitchen in Acton. I make them there, and then there's a place in Worcester where I prepare them there as well, the Worcester Regional Food Hub.
So why the name Moody Meringue?
So if anyone has ever tried to make a meringue, they'll know that it's tricky and it's very easy to mess up. So it's kind of like it has to have the perfect situation, or else it's just not going to work. So that's kind of where Moody came from.
So do you have a lot of meringue mistakes when you're making these?
Yeah, especially in the beginning. I think the first time that I tried them, I thought they looked great. Then I put them in the oven. I watched them. About 3 or 4 minutes into it, they all just started cracking. Just all of them just cracking. Yeah. So that can happen. They could come out hollow sometimes. But yeah, there's been a lot of trial and error for sure.
With all these mistakes, how long does it take on average to make a batch of?
So to make complete 70 completed cookies, it can take 10 hours. So yeah, it can take quite a while because there's a lot of steps to it.
It takes a lot of patience.
Yes.
So what inspired you to start making meringues?
A couple things. So I watch a lot of baking shows on TV. So I know the Great British Baking Show, that's definitely inspired me. And then one night I came across this YouTube video of a baker in California was making macarons, but she was making characters out of them. So unicorns and foxes and stuff. And I thought it was so cool that I got super inspired, and so that's what started.
Have you ever tried making animal macarons?
Not yet. I've made some shapes, but I figure I better nail down the basic shape first and then shoot for animals later.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So, what are you selling here?
I have children's picture books. It's part of the Noe's series, 2 books and a coloring book to go along with the first book. And then I have some cards that are based on the characters in the books. Some of the cards are.
So do you make these all yourself?
Yes, I do.
How long have you been doing this?
The first book I started in 2015. It's about 5 years.
So I'm guessing you're MJ LaCroix. Okay. So is Jay LaCroix a relative?
She helped me with some of the artwork in the first book.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what are these books about?
Well, little Noe, she goes for a walk in the woods, and it's all about what she explores and finds. And it's about, actually, I'm going to give it away, but it's about finding friends in the forest. And the other one is sort of a mystery. Yeah. Yeah.
I like that, okay. That's cute. So some of these look like photography shots. Do you take your own photography?
Yeah, most of the art, background art in the books, I do with photography, and then I manipulate it in Photoshop, and then, but then we'll sketch some of the characters out by hand. Yeah.
So what inspired you to start writing and like doing illustrations?
I don't know. I never know the answer to that.
Just one day you were like, let's write a book.
I get a story in my head, and then, you know, I just think about it, and then it became possible to do it yourself through indie publishing, and so I did it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really want to show that to
Action.
Oh, hey! I didn't see you there. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Like this video and subscribe to Stow TV on YouTube. Then, next year, come to the SFCOA Holiday Bazaar so you can see all these magical things that we've seen today, but in person, and you can buy them for yourself. So, yeah, I'm going to go back to calling my bird now. Thanks for watching. We hope next year you'll come to the SFCOA Holiday Bazaar on whatever date that decides to be. We had a fun time going around interviewing people, and Jessica had a great time asking her mom to buy her things. So, yeah, come
have a
next
nice
time.
day.
Yeah.
All right.